Well, it's official. These keyboards are actually cheating. And while this has been a long time coming, the implications might be insane for anyone that has a Wooting, Razer, or any other rapid trigger keyboard. Let's take a look. Now, this story begins with a tweet from Wooting. And don't worry, I'll explain everything in just a second. They say, so this little hype is over. We're glad Valve has taken action against SnapTap. Don't use Snappy Tappy, SOCD, Rappy Snappy, as it will result in a kick. What does this mean? A feature is being banned from a keyboard? Well, this sparked a ton of controversy when it first came out, all of a little bit ago. You might have seen a video by this guy named Optimum. He makes great videos, and he said, Razer's new keyboard is basically cheating. And this is not necessarily a new feature. Now, the first thing you might wonder is, what feature is cheating? Well, Razer decided to implement something called null bind, null input, SOCD, whatever you want to call it. It has similar names, but essentially what it does is it lets you do some really precise inputs that give you a really big advantage in a few specific games. Essentially, getting rid of years of learning a skill in Counter-Strike and other similar games. Now, when Optima made this video, it kind of shook up everything. We had people reacting to his video. We had Wooting reacting to his video by releasing their own version called Snappy Tappy within a day. Now, for anyone that plays these games, you might know that this is literally cheating. There's been scripts that have existed for this for years that have been banned in some capacity on some platforms and also not banned. So when people started integrating it into keyboards, it was a little bit funny. Wooting originally said, SnapTap should be considered cheating, but because other things were allowing it, they decided to implement it into their keyboards, which started a bit of an arms race with a bunch of other people also implementing SOCD and similar things into their keyboards. Now, at first, it was allowed on ESL, on Faceit, on Counter-Strike. Everybody's saying, yeah, this is totally fine. You can totally use this. It's built into your keyboard. It's okay, which led a lot of people to rush out, buy the Razer keyboard, buy the Wooting keyboards, and you bet they did not mind that. But now there's been a harsh development. And going back to the original thing, the hype is over. Well, kind of. Counter-Strike officially put out a statement saying, recently, some hardware features have blurred the line between manual input and automation. So we've decided to draw a clear line on what is or isn't acceptable in Counter-Strike. Let's take a look at that blog post. Now, essentially what they say, the game is evolving, blah, 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 blah. However, you can't use any form of hardware SOCD. No hardware, null input, no hardware, Rappy Snappy, SnapTap, anything. You will be kicked from official Valve servers if you're using this. And don't worry, we'll test this later. Now, immediately, that means the party's over. No more Rappy Snap, no more SnapTap, none of that. And this is just one game. This is Counter-Strike, a game where that skill that this hardware bypassed was literal years of pros training to get this skill dialed in. I would know, I have played 1,300 hours of it. I'm not very good at it, but I've tried. And this marks a really pivotal point, because if Valve, a company that is notoriously slow to act and notoriously slow to move, is taking a hardline stance on this hardware advantage, kind of software advantage, then that means other companies are gonna follow. Because even Overwatch 2 had this massive post on their forums with 4,000 replies saying that they need to address SnapTap and nullbinds. Now, this only impacts a couple specific games, but for the games that it impacts, the consequences are kind of dire. You literally have to have this hardware to compete, which is cheating, right? Maybe, I don't know. And those aren't the only games, and there's been pushback against this since the beginning. Even Osu wanted Wooting to speedrun getting their keyboard blacklisted, because this feature doesn't feel good for anyone. It is better for everyone if it's just flat out banned in every competitive game, because why would you want to remove a skill element in a skill-based game? So if Wooting doesn't like it, the games don't like it, the gamers don't like it, why are other companies not acting sooner? Well, part of it could be they don't know how to ban it, or maybe it's slow to move and they don't want to accidentally ban people. And part of it might be that, well, it's giving more hype for some of those games. More people were talking about Overwatch than ever when Optimum made this video talking about how it was broken in Overwatch. For Blizzard, that's a net positive. They don't really care. I mean, just look at the Overwatch League. They don't care about competitive play anymore. But what's most important is, are they actually enforcing it? Like, will I legitimately get kicked or banned if I enable Snappy Tappy, for example? So I've turned it on. And after this, I also want to try their other mode, which might be less severe. So let's see, I'm in game. I'm spamming AD. Disconnected. That's kind of crazy. Now, let's try their less severe version real fast, which is Rappy Snappy. Have they banned everything? Or is there still a bit of a loophole? And I am risking my CSGO account with 1,300 hours for this, so please hit subscribe. Okay, so far, nothing, but I'm also not doing it that well. It seems like I already haven't gotten banned yet. Wait. No. It's still working? Oh. No. So, if you use any of these modes in CSGO, you will be kicked. And that kind of gets me thinking. If I went out and bought these keyboards thinking that they were literally cheating and would make me better, and all of my favorite games banned them, I'm gonna be kind of upset. What do you guys think? Are you upset? Did you buy one of these? Leave a comment down below. The implications here are pretty spicy, and I'm very curious to see if other games will follow suit. Your move, Overwatch.